Welcome to a special edition of the Sunday Bunch. Unfortunately, it's not Sunday, it's Monday. And we're here today in the Hastings Hill Pub, the Conservatory, for a change of venue. And unfortunately, I can smell that absolutely beautiful food next door. I've just finished work and I'm absolutely starving. On the panel today, we have Michael Bowers.
All right. Happy Christmas and New Year.
Sean.
All right.
And Dean.
Hello.
As you can see, unfortunately, we have only one mic.
We thought we'd fancy a change. We thought we'd just try and mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do something different today. With it being a Monday, we're not in our usual studio. Yes, it's a Monday, that's right, that's correct. So we're going to start off with Boxing Day. And Phil Parkinson, since he's put McGeady on the up for sale list, he's been unbeaten. So we did get a draw against Blackpool, and we moved to Boxing Day, and we got a draw 0-0 against Bolton. So we'll start with Dean. Dean, what was your thoughts on the result against Bolton and the formation Phil Parkinson was playing?
Absolutely. Tell you want us to hold it? Yeah. I'll hold it, mate. It was absolutely awful. I mean, let's be fair. 0-0 against bottom of the league. We haven't even beat them this season, right? 5 at the back at home again with 2 holding midfielders. It's pathetic. It wasn't good, and the fan, it got toxic. And that's from where I was sitting. It was getting really toxic, especially when he brought the bot on for Flanagan. It was really bad. I mean, it's 75 minutes. Change it. It wasn't working, and to be honest, Bolton should have won. They should have 3 goals in the first half. It was a joke, and I mean, if it says it all, that'll be the reason why we won't go, because we're so negative. And that game epitomised Parkinson for me. He's not good enough. Not good enough.
Well, it may epitomise Parkinson for you, but maybe it's the team just taking a while to find the feet, find Parkinson the way he wants him to play. And now McGeady's up for sale, like I said. There's no win in there. There's no flying ointment. And they're starting to gel nicely. They're coming together for me. We'll talk about the Doncaster match in a little while, but Sean, what was your thoughts on the Bolton match?
The same really was what Dean said. It was just like so negative. Like, you're playing at home against the side that's just late goals all season, and you go with a 3 at the back. And I mean, Dean's had the discussion. He says it was 5. I thought it was a 3-4-3, because I think that was the formation we played yesterday as well. It's just so negative. I mean, actually, the first half, I thought Bolton played us off the park. But there was an incident in the game, and I seen it on your channel, my mistake, that we did score a goal in that game, and there was nothing wrong with the goal. I mean, the cross come in, the keeper, right, was watching the ball, and so was Flanagan. Flanagan jumped up, headed it, right, and he didn't infringe the keeper at all, and the keeper thing the goal. Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that goal. It's another example of how piss poor the officials are in this league.
I think the referee didn't even have a view of the goal, did he? He just presumed Flanagan had took it out of his hands, and it's not good enough.
But like I say, that I mean, for the whole game, I mean, I can't remember us creating many chances, and I mean, you should, against a side like Bolton, need to suspect, but you should be like going for it more. You know, even just like playing a 4-3-3 or 4-4-2, and just trying to get some goals, but. We're just absolutely diabolical, and I think the boos at the end says it all, really. So, Michael, your thoughts on the Bolton match then?
Best result of our season. I'm absolutely buzzing with that 0-0 draw. It's brilliant. On a serious note, I can't really add more to what's been said. I did think we created, McNulty and Maguire each had a good chance towards the end, but when you're playing bottom of the league, and to be fair, I feel for Bolton fans, hopefully that it looks like it's an uphill task for them. If they go down, hopefully they win League 2 and come back up, because they should do. But even then, when considering where they are, considering that if Parkinson, and I feel like I'm repeating myself here, if Parkinson had been a tiny bit braver, we'd have probably, I think we could have gone on to win that game. But it seemed to me like he was just content for the clean sheet, get the point, that's it. It's not really... Yeah, it's funny because usually I'm one of the most people who are most fuming after a game when we haven't won. I didn't feel anything on Thursday.
Why? Because we kept clean sheet.
Yeah, you could say that. I just felt because I felt the game panned out the way I expected it. I didn't fancy us to beat Bolton. I didn't think we would take enough gambles. We didn't take enough risks. Mm-hmm. And I think what Sean said, actually, I think, whichever one of you two said it, the booing at the end, I think, was justified.
Can I just say something as well, please? Right, them they had an ex-Sunderland player who's a centre midfielder, who's 5'6", playing centre back, and we made him look like a Van Dijk. How the hell have we not scored against Bolton when they've got a centre mid who's not the best player in the world when he's playing centre mid? He's probably worse when he plays centre back, but yet he can out jump Charlie Wyke, and we can't get in behind that bloke. Please tell me how we can't score a goal with a centre mid playing centre back who's not even a good player.
You've just answered the question, Charlie White.
How many seasons ago was it when Darryl Murphy was playing for Newcastle?
It was the championship season.
Championship season?
Three
seasons ago.
3 seasons ago.
3 seasons.
If Bolton didn't have the minus 12 points, to be on 22 points now, and they wouldn't be bottom, wouldn't they? So
they'd still be in the bottom 3, but they wouldn't be bottom.
They wouldn't be rock bottom team.
No, they would be much closer to the third, fourth bottom than.
A 0-0 draw in Boxing Day. We got a 1-0 win last year against a poor Bradford side that was relegated. Yeah. So we haven't really come on much. I mean, we were lucky to get a 1-0 win last year against Bradford. They had a perfectly good goal that was over the line. So really, if you think about it, last year's result against relegated Bradford 1-1 is basically the same against a relegation side Bolton. So we haven't moved. We've gone backwards from Jack Ross to Phil Parkinson, but we haven't gone forwards. And it hasn't gotten any better or any worse. So we stayed the same. But it is disappointing, and everybody was shouting why the South Stand was shouting for Kevin Phillips, the one Super Kevin. We know fine well Phil Parkinson's going to go nowhere. We know Donald's going to go nowhere, for the time being, probably until the summer, for me anyway. So for me, you have to give Phil Parkinson and Stuart Donald 100% backing until they actually go. I mean, my personal opinion, I would love to see Kevin Phillips come in, but that's another story. So I'm personally not going to boo Phil Parkinson. I'm not going to boo Stuart Donald, but everyone has their own decision to make, and I'm not going to criticise anybody who pays good money to boo. They can boo whoever they want. It's their choice. So I was disappointed with Bolton 0-0. It was a perfectly good goal from Tom Flanagan, and really we should have won 1-0. It should have been the same result as last year against Bradford. So can anybody remember the score predictions, Dean?
Well, I know I think it was you who said 3-1 Sunderland.
Second on the back.
I said we wouldn't win, but we wouldn't get beat, so I said 1-1.
1-1,
Michael Bowers said 2-1 to Sunderland, and Sean Milton said 3-1 to Sunderland as well. I still don't know why you actually think we're going to score any goal, more than one goal, like.
Well, we did yesterday, so let's move on to the Doncaster match. A bit of positivity. How can a team play the way they've been playing over the last few weeks and then come out yesterday and absolutely press the way they pressed against Doncaster? Doncaster didn't know what day it was, what month it was, whether they were coming or going, whether they were having a nightmare dream. They didn't have a clue what was going yesterday. We absolutely pressed them all over the park. They didn't have a moment's rest on the ball, and that's why they were hoofing the ball forward. They were losing the ball every 2 or 3 minutes for me. How can a team play like they did against Bolton, like they did against the teams we played so far this season, and then turn it around and do what they did yesterday, Michael?
Extra heart and desire.
Thoughts on the Doncaster match?
Extra heart and desire. And I mean, I went with Sean and Dino yesterday. It was great going there and back in the car. But I think as well, it was good to see us actually go and press teams, actually go and show that you want to play for the badge and show that and I don't know how whatever of this was down to Parkinson, but the shackles were let off a little bit yesterday. I thought we seemed to go for it a bit more. We seemed to not fear them. Like, well, why should we fear anybody in this division, really? Then again, people could argue that about us, I suppose. But either way, it was good to see the extra 10-15% that we blatantly haven't seen. My only frustration is, where's that been the last 2 months? Why have we had to wait from Southend to Doncaster? That's nearly 2 months without a win in all competitions.
For me, where's it been for the last season, for the last year? Because the last time I saw Sunderland do that was against Scunthorpe, and we were leading 3-0 at half time. That's when Gooch was in the side then, and Maguire was in the side then.
Well, you mentioned the two players, now the two who scored. To be fair, and how many times I've ever said it, that I still think Gooch's game intelligence and on occasions needs to improve. However, we missed him. I think it's blatantly to see that him and Hume, for me, were the best two players yesterday, or Sunday, whenever you're watching this. They were got us forward off the pitch. They worked well off each other. Gooch's work rate complements Hume, because whenever Hume goes forward, Gooch can sit further back because he's got the work rate to do that. And Gooch gave us gave us more dynamics going forward. I think we missed him. We missed his energy.
It's amazing when Gooch is back on the side working his socks off, and Maguire's finally back on the fold working his socks off. How different the side is.
Well, there you go. It just goes to prove that when they're working their socks off 100%, we get a win.
So now they set a precedent. So against Fleetwood, we should do exactly the same thing.
Agreed. I said in my own video, this has got to be the rule, not the exception. You've got to look to, this result is as great as the result was, and I'm obviously buzzing that we won. That is going to mean bot all if we don't go and follow that up at Fleetwood. Exactly. We've got to turn this into a run now. Those players have now got no excuse to go back into the shells that they were before Doncaster. You've proven you can do it. Now go and show it again.
So, Sean, your thoughts on yesterday's match, and you and Dean can discuss it.
Do you know what? It's actually good to speak about a game where we can actually, all four of us will agree, we were the better side yesterday, 100%. And I mean, how many times have we said that this season? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I can't recall. Well, yesterday, as my mistakes have said there, and I think, Michael, we were at it from the start. We were pressing them, high intensity. You can see the players, they were wanting to do something, they were running about. Gooch was absolutely outstanding yesterday. His work rate was brilliant. He scored a class goal. He was man of the match for me by a mile. I think Hume played well. I think the whole team they're just the same. Yesterday's the same. They were saying that there was something there which has been missing for a long time. And then, I just really hope that's a catalyst now for us to go on to beat Fleetwood, beat Lincoln, and start to get some good results in and climb up that table. Do you know what I mean, Dino?
Alright. I'd say we beat a piss poor Doncaster side, in my opinion. I think if that was Doncaster from last year, we get beat. But positives, we played totally different to what we have done. But why now? Where has that been? But I bring it down to a little bit I wasn't on, so I had a bit more energy in the midfield. I still think Power offers nothing. Sure. I watched him. He's a passenger on that team at the minute. He really is. I thought Dobson he came into the team and he was getting stuck right in. Yeah. He was getting really stuck in. I thought, like you say, Gooch and Hume complemented each other. Brilliant, they knew what they were doing. Because for Maguire's goal, we actually done something coming down the wing, going to the byline. Yeah. We never do that because we always come back and recycle the ball.
Doncaster, Dino, do you not think it was? I mean, you got to think that team was just to beat Peterborough a few days, 3-0 at their place, and
but Peterborough's bubbles just bursting now, and everyone up the top now is starting to get beat, like Ipswich.
I've heard Peterborough 40% of their side are injured. So
I didn't see that.
A few 17-year-olds on the bench, I think.
I didn't see that lineup. Like, to be fair, I didn't see if Madison was playing or even Tony or Isaac. I didn't
but like you say, a couple of injuries can just knock you like that. You know what I mean? And if we get a couple of injuries, we're gone. We've got no
strength in depth over.
Not a chance.
But just look, when Gooch was injured and Maguire didn't want to know, it's a difference altogether.
But I'm not going to take away from the lads. They played really well. There was fight there. We seem to have a bit pace about it as well. We had a bit pace on the pitch. I thought Charlie Wyke had a better game, but he missed a sitter again.
He did miss a sitter.
He missed a sitter.
Back post, didn't he?
Back post. But again, this is why I say I don't always give him praise, because if you're a good striker, you finish that. You finish that all day long. It was no different to when he scored the corner. He stuck his foot out and it went in. He done exactly the same. Stuck his foot and went up.
I mean, I suppose you could forgive Charlie. I suppose you could forgive Charlie Wyke for missing that chance if he's more potent in front of goal and he's actually, a good finisher. But Dino's right. Like, over the 2 years he's been here, I mean, he was meh last season, and this season he's just not. I still believe. Look, I mean, to make an alternate point here, you've got to look at it when we mention injuries. What's coming up? The January transfer window. So it all depends really on how we act in this window. But again, it was nice to see whether Doncaster are poor or not. To be honest, you would say Doncaster should have more about them than what Bolton did, and yet we couldn't. Yet we play like a sack of potatoes against Bolton, and then against Donny, the performance is completely different.
And can I just say to the 4,000 Sunderland fans, I mean, our fans are best, for me, best in the North East. Look at where we are now, taking 4,000 down to Doncaster on What day was it? Sorry,
Sunday.
on a Sunday. Down, I know it's only
Christmas period as well.
Christmas period. I know it's only.
Boxing Day and that.
I know, like everyone's spent loads of money, but it's a 2 hour. I know it's only a 2 hour journey, but the fans were unbelievable. And look when we scored, look how much it meant. People ran on the pitch, like. It was like people were saying it was like our cup final. It was just passion. We haven't seen our team play like this for God knows how long. I don't blame people for running on the pitch. No, exactly. There was no trouble. We ran on, they cuddled the players, and they came straight back off.
Do you know what? Them 4,000 Sunderland fans that epitomise our football club, Madej. Just in situations like that. I mean, tapping 4,000 down, and that's only a couple hours journey, but just after Christmas, people spend a lot of money. I think it's just, they epitomise the club, and I've got nothing but respect for them, for the fans.
The video on social media of the Sunderland fans that were, for the second goal for Maguire's. Look at how mental everyone went. And this is the point again I made in my video, that's what it means. That's what one win does for you. We've had to watch players, we've had this debate many times. I think a lot of players have underperformed significantly for the last 2 months, but we've looked clueless, we've looked without a plan, we've looked like headless chickens, and all of a sudden to put one performance in like that, our best performance by distance for 2 months, and that's how people react to it.
Go on.
You have to give credit to Phil Parkinson as well, because he's had to deal with the McGeady situation. Since McGeady's been out of the side, he's unbeaten in 3, and yesterday he changed it around completely. The 3 central defenders, Willis I thought was really good. He marshalled well. Ozturk was slightly off the pace, but he still did a good job. And I thought Lynch probably needed the game because he's been out for a while, and I thought they did a good job. So what do you want to say, Dean?
I think I forget what I was going to say now.
about the central defenders.
I was thinking something before that. That's why I wanted it back for. But
I just come back with my mistake said. I think you've got to think we've had 3 games. There were 3 games undefeated, right? McGeady's been transfer listed. It makes you wonder these last few months has he been the rotten apple in that squad?
I know what I'm going to say now. There was a lot of fans. We had this debate down in the car, right? And you never want to see your team get beat. You always want to see them win. But you know what I'm going to say, don't you? People were saying they would have rather seen we get hammered for Parkinson to lose his job. There was a lot of people, like even Brian says on the interview, the worst thing what could have happened was a win. It was a good day. It was positive, but it just gives Parkinson more games. It's a very controversial idea.
Okay, I'm putting on the spot here. I'm going to put on the spot here. Yeah, go on, Sean. You keep an eye on the mic because I'm probably going to do something wrong here. Anyway, no, for what Dean was pointing at, I actually agree. I think people want not say wanting us to lose. I would say that for the bigger picture, for the future, it would have been. I don't want to use better. That's the wrong word, but it would have possibly accelerated a sacking for Parkinson. But on the other hand, we've said to ourselves, even if we lost yesterday, chances are Parkinson still isn't going anywhere. There's absolutely no, unless we lose the next, 5 games and we get battered in all of them and we don't look like we're capable of doing anything. Look, we're going to get relegated still more than potential promotion. That's the only. Apart from that, there is no way Parkinson's going to be sacked.
So your personal opinion.
In the bank.
So your personal opinion. Do you want Phil Parkinson to leave right now, or do you want him to continue winning matches and stay?
You put me right on the spot there. When you say winning matches, how long for?
Win every match.
What? So every match for the rest of the season, that would mean we get promoted. Probably.
Why not?
Well, if that was the case, then yeah. But I just don't think he'll do that.
So Phil Parkinson, after the Boxing Day match, I was quite annoyed with the way we played, and I could say everybody's saying Super Kev, and in the long run, I want Kevin Phillips as the next Sunderland manager in the long term. But as we said earlier on in the programme, is that Phil Parkinson's going to go nowhere. He's not going to be sacked because it's more money to spend. Stuart Donald's not going to get rid of him just yet. And we are probably going to have some money for Phil Parkinson in the transfer window. I prefer Phil Parkinson to win every single game and stay at Sunderland Football Club. The bloke's probably a nice bloke. He's someone's son. He's probably got family of his own. I don't want to see anything nasty happen to Phil Parkinson. I want to see him succeed. I'd rather see Phil Parkinson win every single match now to the end of the season than lose games, have him sacked, have somebody else come in. I want to see Phil Parkinson win every single match and get us promoted. Why would you not want to see your team win every single match? This is just my personal opinion. I hate chopping and changing managers all of the time. I want to see a manager come in and win every single match. But fair enough, if he fails And then the summer comes along, then you sack him and you bring in Kevin Phillips. That's just my opinion. Now, what, Dean, have you got to say?
Didn't somebody say when Ross was in charge, it doesn't matter if he won every single game this season, he still won him out, and he's sitting to me left?
What was that?
You said that. You said he could win every single game, but I'd still want him out because I don't like the way he plays football. Aye. You said that. That was your opinion. It might not be word for word, but
but I was going off last season.
Aye, but this season's worse.
Aye, but obviously we're going back to the car, right? I said to you, if we had a better manager last season, we would have getting promoted with that squad.
But I said to you, who else would we've got with the team we had and the way we were going downhill?
Somebody who was a bit more offensive, a bit more attacking, would have won the league. It would have pissed the league.
But who was available?
He's offensive.
Who? Chubby Brown, aye.
See, I think now that if there's more harmony in the dressing room, the players are now actually starting to play for Phil Parkinson.
Oh, just now?
Yeah, just now. Oh, that's a couple of matches. It's taken a couple of matches. Against Blackpool, they weren't that bad. Against Bolton, yes, they were more offensive. They might have been nervous. Boxing Day, big crowd. We don't know what goes on in people's heads. They're not like world-class stars, these players. They're human beings who are not fantastic, and they're trying to do the best for the club. And we saw yesterday, when they actually get the right squad out, the right team out, that did put a performance in, but whether they can do that every single match is another thing. So, after the Boxing Day match, yeah, we were all like, sort of, yes, we want Kevin Phillips in, but in hindsight, after yesterday's performance, I want to say that performance, week in, week out, without fail, simple as. Michael?
Do you think, just to counter that, do you think Parkinson's capable of getting that performance out of them every game? Well, okay, maybe not. Well, I mean, like most games. And when I say that performance, I'm talking effort, desire, and intensity. That's what I'm talking about.
Might be the Godfather.
But then you're talking about the players, because it's the players who do it on the pitch, not Parkinson. So for that game yesterday, the players turned up. Fleetwood, are they going to turn up again? Are they going to do the same? Probably not. Probably not, because
yeah, exactly. That's the point I was going to. I think what Mad Mistake was talking about in terms of like just now turning up. I think because I know Dino provided a little bit of a look in Mad Mistake earlier, but I think what we meant is they've done it now, but we're referring to Gillingham, Burton, Scunthorpe. We're referring to quite a good number of games there where players
when there was less in the changing room, maybe.
Well, maybe, but then would it have changed drastically that much between then and now?
You look how much has changed with Gooch coming back on the side and with Maguire coming back into the fold. There's two players there. Take away those two players, it's a different dimension, different game altogether.
That's true, but Gooch would have been around the dressing room for weeks before he got back on the pitch.
So if other players are getting dragged down, like your O9's getting dragged down, like Hume's getting dragged down, the younger players are getting bogged down and they're worried about what's going on in the dressing room. Now they feel released. They can play football. They're enjoying the game now. You've got to enjoy what you do, otherwise you won't play.
I'll tell you what. I'll answer that with a question. Do you think that it's coincided with McGeady being out the picture?
There has to be something in it. There has to be, because yesterday was completely different to what I've seen all season.
Because you've mentioned the unbeaten thing. That's happened after McGeady's been dropped out.
No.
So what do you guys think? Is there anything in that, or am I just looking into it too much?
I think we'll definitely find out next two games, away to Fleetwood and home to Lincoln.
Tough game, Fleetwood like.
So go back to the defence. Are you happy with the three central defenders? The way is he doing a 3-4-3 system?
That's what
right. From me and you had this debate, right? When we're going forward, it's a 3-4-3.
When we haven't got the ball, it's a 4. It looks like a 4-5-1.
No, it's 5. It's 5 because
it's a 5-4-1. 5 at the back, 4 in the middle with. It's a 5-4-1 without the ball. It's not a 5-4. It's a 5-4-1 when we haven't got the ball. When we have got the ball, it's a 3-4-3. That's what I think.
It's along them lines because, and if you're getting that maths wrong, basically, 09 and Hume when we go forward, they turn into wingers. When we're defending, they turn into left back and right back. But you've always got your 3 centre mids. So when we go forward, your left centre back and right centre back literally push. Will you pack it in?
Give the bottle.
When we're going forward, the left centre back and right centre back push out as like a right back and left back. And then when we come in defence, then push back in 09.
It's a 5. As I'm saying, they push. So Hume, when we haven't got the ball, he's gone forward like 09. So it's like it's a 4. The supported wing backs. When we haven't got the ball, the other slot into with the back three is a 5. So it's a 5-4-1 when we haven't got the ball, and it's a 3-4-3 when we have got the ball.
But would you say that's complicated.
Well, it is, but a lot of teams in the Premier League, sort of, Mourinho is with his teams.
They're world-class managers, or this is Parkinson.
That is a question. Can I ask Dane, because he was wanting an argument earlier on, right? So,
love an argument.
if Parkinson, right, was the manager last season, and he got the Chesterfield fan and the player fan, do you think he would have done better than Jack Ross in them finals?
No.
Do you know?
Nope, not a chance, because he would have went 5 at the back. No, not a chance. We thought Ross was negative. This manager is more negative. You don't have to. You always check that.
Now, just in case somebody slips the button.
Well, ask these. I think we would have lost.
Say this is where I differ with it, right? I thought under Ross, there were more wing backs, so there was more pressure on Hume, bombing backwards and forwards. It was like less concentration on his defensive work, and he was trying to get back, and he was concentrating on that. When he was going forward, he wasn't doing enough good crosses. I think now under Parkinson, I think there's less pressure on Hume getting back, so now he can work on the midfield, going forward, supplying the forward line, and there's less pressure on 0-9. So now they can get back and defend when they have to, but not always. They don't always have to do it, and they can concentrate more on doing the job in midfield, so more like a 3-4-3, and then they go back and they help the central defenders whenever they can. But there's less pressure. They don't feel like they have to bomb back how much energy does that burn up, having to bomb back, go forward, backwards and forwards? You're going to lose the ball loads. I feel like there's less pressure yesterday, and there was more forward momentum from Hume and 0-9. Especially Hume was fantastic yesterday. Going forward, he controlled the ball well. Yeah. I mean, I thought the second goal was brilliant, the way Gooch bulldozed through their defenders, found Hume, and then Hume found Maguire. Maguire was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Do you reckon that comes down to the fact that he's got Gooch on his side now and not McGeady, because he knows Gooch will put in the hard work, and he knew McGeady didn't. So can you put that down?
I think Michael said that earlier on.
100%.
Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, all I was going to say is, like, with Gooch and McGeady, one of them's going to track back, one isn't.
Look at McGeady. We don't know what McGeady's been doing, but we know the rumours what's going on. So if McGeady's in that side not working, we saw him, he hasn't been working, hasn't been helping Hume, and now he's got someone who's actually helping him. Yeah. It's a big difference in the side.
Do you also think as well, though, like, and I think we said this months ago, to be honest, or at least about a good few panel shows ago, that whenever McGeady plays on the pitch, the impetus is, right, shit, give it to McGeady, give it to McGeady, give it to McGeady. That's all the game plans seem to be. Now that he's out of the team, are people finally starting to accept responsibility and be like, right, no, it's got to be a team game now?
And also, are people afraid of McGeady, so they have to feel obligated to give the ball to McGeady. Now they feel obligated to play their own game. Why? And you're saying better.
Why would you be afraid of McGeady?
What would you do, Dino?
I wouldn't do nothing, but you wouldn't. Why are you scared of another human being who's, let's be fair, he's not the biggest bloke. He hasn't got a reputation. He's just a bully boy. If that's the case, allegedly. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter about size. Doesn't matter. Exactly. If he's an intimidating, nasty person, we don't know. We're just saying hypothetical. Let's pretend you got someone in your side who's an intimidating, nasty person, always on your back all the time, demanding whatever they want from you. It's an awful atmosphere. But now you've got let's pretend the team now, there's harmony in the side, everybody's playing for each other, everyone's more friendly, everybody wants to help each other. Different team ethics altogether for me.
Can I just say one more thing as well? And I'm talking a lot, but you can see the squad harmony's a bit better, because look, when 0-9 went down in the corner, Maguire went over and started rolling them around for a laugh. When was the last time you seen something like that? Do you know what I mean? So that just shows squad harmony's there. Maguire's obviously everyone's getting along, because he got the free kick basically, and he was on the floor rolling, and Maguire ran up to him and started rolling him off the pitch. Do you know what I mean?
He was rolling quite a bit, wasn't he?
Well, you see the way that again for the second Sunderland goal. See the way that not just the way the fans went mental. Look at the way the players celebrated as well. Look at the way that they just went in front of the whole fans. It was like all fist pump in the air, cuddling, hugging each other. It was just like a get in sort of moment. I think
that was more pressure. I feel like that's more because they've won the game. The pressure's off now. Because imagine they lost that game. That atmosphere could have went from absolutely great to absolutely toxic.
Oh no, sorry, I meant literally as they scored the second goal, because obviously there was still half an hour in the game at that point. But it just look. Great. Like, if this is what's going to come hopefully this is going to be maintained. Hopefully, if McGeady allegedly was doing those things and he's out the picture, then that's one thing. Despite our opinions on Parkinson, which would be interesting to see how they are now. But That's one thing I do stand by Parkinson on. If McGeady has been causing that much bother, fair enough, get rid of him.
See what I noticed yesterday as well, we did sort of drop the intensity with 10 minutes to go before the first half. That's when Doncaster scored. And then I thought, oh, here we go, second half, we're going to get battered second half. But the second half, Phil Parkinson got decided to raise the intensity again, and we're even better in the second half. We pressed even more, and the energy levels were absolutely fantastic yesterday. So before I move on to the hashtag Donald out situation, Sean, have you got anything else to say about yesterday's match?
No, I'm just out of the moon. I mean, getting 3 points, because it's been like put with doom and gloom the last few games. I just hope this is, like I say, as a start of good things, and start 2020. You know, and it's a great year. Maybe sneak a playoff place.
So, I mean, you do the interviews. How did you find the interviews yesterday?
I thought it was good. I mean, there was a lot of people that had a lot of alcohol, so if we'd got beat, it would have been a bit harder. But obviously, when you win a game like that, which we haven't been in many games where we've won, but it was good. Like, obviously, people were going past and they were all happy and they were wanting to get on the camera, and they were thinking, I was debating the day. I was thinking, if we get beat, it could be toxic, like. But you obviously
it'd have been great if you used
doing the job. That's just the part and parcel.
These two did fantastic jobs yesterday. Both fantastic jobs, brilliant jobs. So we'll start with Michael. Michael, what's your take on this hashtag Donald out? How can we force the owner out? Do we want to force the owner out?
This is a tough one, this, because I'm not Donald out in the strictest of senses. I do think that, to an extent, we do. I know people are going to be bored of me mentioning this, but we do have to remember the club was in absolute dire straits when they came in. We have to remember that you can say, oh, well, they bought it out the parachute money. Aye, because Ellis Short was such a great owner as well, wasn't he? My point was, but you know, I do think him, Donald and Methvin, to be fair, I think for the first year or so of their tenure, brilliant. I don't think I could have faulted much that they did. I do think where I do question Donald is the stubbornness with Parkinson, which again, despite the result against Doncaster, that does not change. I think the bigger picture is that Parkinson, I still don't believe Parkinson is the right man. I think that Donald, and we've even said this before, is the job too big for Donald? Now, if the job is too big for Donald and he's finding it too much to handle, then I am Donald out, but more for his sake than for Sunderland's. Well, probably both of them actually, but for his sake as much as Sunderland's. So I'm on the fence at the minute. I'm really hoping it works out for Donald because I like him a lot.
Yeah, I find it. See, at the same time as I find it, we do need a change. I just find it a bit harsh because I mean, Donald has done a great job. Like everything Michael said is right. He's done a fantastic job. I don't really want to force a change during the season. I would like to see. I mean, we're not going to go down. I mean, touch wood. I don't think we.
Probably not.
I state my reputation. We're not going to go down. We're not going to, as far as I'm concerned, we're not going to go down. Touch my thick head, right? But I'd rather see Donald sell the club in the closed season, and then do the changes then, rather upset everything that's going on now and change it all right now. I understand where the fans are coming from. They're frustrated with the team. They're frustrated with Parkinson. You know, and they've all got the right to speak their mind. And everyone's has their own opinion. This is just a game of opinions. This is just my opinion. I would like to see in the closed summer, if Donald sells the club, then the new owners will come in. They'll pick their own manager, and hopefully Kevin Phillips will one day be the Sunderland manager. But what's your thoughts on Donald out? Do you want Donald out right now or later on?
Be honest.
You and me.
No.
Exactly.
I've been sceptical about Donald from the start. To be fair, I think obviously there's got to be a lot of credit goes to Ellis Short because he obviously made it possible for the new owners to come in and he cleared the debt. So I think if we want to thank anybody, we don't want to thank Stuart Donald. We want to thank Ellis Short.
Don't you worry about. I'll counter that.
So you know, I know these two have got different opinions, Michael and Dano, but I think he has done a good job where he's changed the seats and
just change the seats.
He bought the season card sales down and he spent a bit of money, hasn't he? I suppose he's bought some good players in. No, I think I will get behind Stuart Donald until he one day passes the club on. I'll get behind Parkinson, even though I don't think Parkinson's the right man. I think Donald has got maybe January to save his arse for the football club. I mean, is he going to, bring in a few players? Is he going to spend some money? Because, like I say, the pressure's on him big time now. I don't know. I'll probably say I'm not totally Donald out, but I've always said from the start I'm sceptical. I'm not sure about the bloke, and I don't think he hasn't got the financial power anywhere. So I think I agree with what my mistakes are. Just keep it to the end of the season, and then maybe have a look in the summer if the club's going to get sold or whatever.
Just one quick thing. If Donald didn't care about the club, will he put money into the stadium? Now, there's 10 millions available now in January. Is he going to spend that money on the roof and on the terraces or whatever it needs doing? Now, if he didn't care, he'd just spend it on the team. Yeah. So it looks good on Stuart Donald. So we'll see what happens in the January window, how much money he actually spends on the team and how much he spends on the structural things of the stadium. So, Dean, your thoughts?
Right, for me, Sean's entitled to his opinion, so is everyone else. Everyone has their own opinion. But for me, if them two did not come in, we would be where Bolton are. We would be where Bury are. Because we would have sold all the best players. We would have got even cheaper than what we've got now. We would have got even worse players in, maybe relied on kids like Bolton did. We would have still had all that debt because Short wouldn't write off the debt if someone couldn't come in. So the debt would still be there, we'd still have Short, and we probably wouldn't even have the season what we did last year, even though it was a failure. And let's not kid ourselves. No, it was a failure. It was a massive failure last season. But from where we were,
do you think that Stuart? Do you think Ellis Short would have let the club go in administration?
Yes.
Right. So obviously he paid 150 million worth of debt, right? So do you think he's cleared that debt and he knew he's made mistakes? He's put his hands up. He's made some big mistakes. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you got to give this bloke, the utmost respect. I mean, it was a good negotiation skills by Sneaky Meathan and Donald. I don't know. We don't know. I mean, if it was somebody else, would they say, "Oh, I'll buy the club, but I'll take the debt"? I doubt it. Like,
you know why they wouldn't do it for? Because we're a League One club. Who would take a League One club on with 150 million pounds worth of debt? It wouldn't happen. So Donald saved the club from going where it would have been. Thank you very much for the round of applause.
Hashtag in or out.
In. For me though, for me, if we don't go up this season, I think he will have to pass the club on. But for me, he's got January to save it. Because if you're going to stick by Parkinson, you've got to back him. And if you don't back him, I'd say out. But at the minute, I'm still in 100%.
Okay. Now, before you start, I want to add to Sean's point here. Right, he says we're deluded. So we deluded for recognising that without all this, with Donald, we would not be an investable proposition. Because I'm sorry, that's not deluded. No, that's not deluded. That's fair.
I did say before.
No, but you said yourself 2 seconds ago that we were deluded for backing Donald.
Continues in a second. There you go. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, seconds out, round 2. What you seeing?
Well, he moves a little bit better now. I can get Sean's scepticism to a point, but again, we weren't. The fact is, we weren't an attractive proposition before Donald Methven came in. The fact is, financially, we were a more attractive proposition because we wouldn't have got the investment if we weren't. And the fact is, we can say Ellis Short deserves respect. Yeah, to a point, we're rubbing off the debt, but that's after choosing point blank to not invest in the Championship season, seeing us go down 2 divisions. Exactly. So, I mean, the big thing is, I think with Donald, obviously, he can say that it's a failure that we haven't got out of League One last season, but at the end of the day, it's not him who got us in League One to tell us short. It's fact, whether we like to admit it or not.
Anything, Sean?
Sorry for calling you deluded. I mean, Mike and I, you're an intelligent guy. It's just a case of, well, I've got different opinions. I mean, I just didn't get that.
No, he got blocked on Twitter.
No.
He's still holding grudges.
No, he blocked us on Twitter, no, I mean, he come in and he brought a good vibe back to a certain extent. I mean, I would say somebody who saved the club would be somebody who would get us back to the Championship, maybe in that respect. If he got us back to the Championship, I know he was close, like, to be fair, but I think he made mistakes. He's obviously employed Ross, that was the wrong thing to do. He's employed Parkinson, I think that's the wrong thing to do. So, I don't think he saved the club, like.
Don't get me wrong. Nobody's perfect.
He's made a few mistakes, but Ellis Short made loads of mistakes. Now, I do believe, he's not a chancer, but he has taken a chance because he's bought a business. Everybody who buys a business takes a chance. And I do believe that him and Methven did see opportunity to make plenty of money in the future, and that's what they wanted to do. But I don't begrudge them that. I want them to make plenty of money, but do right by Sunderland as well, which they've done so far.
I think, with what you were saying there, I think you've knocked the nail on the head. I think he's bought the club for 30, 40 million. He's took a gamble. He's assumed we're going to win the league. The first time that's name and Charlie Poy's looking and going, yeah, this is a class opportunity. This, if we can barter with this fella, if he clears the debt, we'll buy the club for 40 million, sell it for 80, 20 million each, mates.
You don't mind that, do you? Though,
No, that's fine. That's fine, but now it's backfired. It's obviously because of fucking useless Ross. So that's backfired. He stuck with Ross. It's obviously it's went pear-shaped this season. Then he's had to get rid of him. Do you know what I mean? So,
to be honest, I wouldn't say that I'm not going to touch it, mate. Don't worry. I wouldn't say that them folk will go straight up. Look at the team we had. We had 8 players. We didn't even have a full squad. Let's be real here. We all wanted to go up. We're that close. But if you look at where we were at the start of the season, we were in a shambles. We're on the downward spiral. That could have easily turned to another relegation if we didn't get that right. And let's be fair.
So can I just ask you as well, right? But I think I've asked you a few times anyway. If we had a better manager like last season, with that squad of players, with Cattermole and obviously, you know, Oviedo, Madger was there. Do you think if we're a better manager, we would have gotten promoted last season? Yes or no?
I personally think if we didn't have McGeady last season and had somebody equally as good with a different personality, and like I say, I'm not blaming just one person, but I thought towards the end of the season something happened where the team fell away. Whether it was because Ross wasn't strong enough to get the teams towards the end of the season, to get them up for the fight towards the end, I don't know. But something happened the last few matches of the season, including the final at Charlton, where everybody's heads were down. And we just lost it against Fleetwood, moving on to the Joey Barton situation again now. Against Fleetwood, we were leading 1-0 and we just lost it for some reason. Whatever happened, I don't know. So we're going to move on to the Joey Barton situation now. So before I get started with you two, because I know your opinion on Joey Barton, I want to ask Michael. Michael, what's your thoughts on Fleetwood as a club and on Joey Barton as a manager? And do you think what your score prediction is going to be?
Don't have any issues with Fleetwood as a club. I think their manager's an absolute bellend. I suppose I'm bound to say that being a Sunderland fan. Look, I mean, Fleetwood are a decent side. They're in the playoff mix as well. They're not to be taken lightly. It's going to be a very hard game. For predictions, I think it seems a bit too good to be true for us that we're going to go there and win. I think I would back us to maybe get a 1-1 draw. But again, I mean, if you really want to kick on, you've got to start to look to win these games. But, so yeah, 1-1's my prediction, though.
Dean?
Like you say, Fleetwood as a team, not a problem. They've done all right last season. They just missed out on playoffs last season, didn't they? But Joey Barton as a player, as a manager, I couldn't stand him as a player. I thought he was an absolute arrogant twat. I thought he was an absolute bellend. He was a bully. He went to prison. He went to prison for assault, for God's sake. He made you loads of money, didn't he? I mean, that bloke is just a full-on criminal. He's done betting. What has that bloke not done?
You know Daniel Sunderland in the change room.
Aye, he attacked another manager.
What happened yesterday as well?
He went off it because they scored a goal and the linesman ruled it out. But then the linesman says, "I think I might have got it wrong," and he's went absolutely ballistic because he's got no chill because he's just all aggression, isn't he? So he's probably told the referee to go and do one, and then the referee sent him off, and then he's went up to the linesman and shouted something in his ear, and then he's been sent to the stand.
So does that mean he's not on the touchline tomorrow?
I don't know. For me, he's got to be on it. He's got to be on a touchline ban for that because is it gross misconduct, straight red or something like that? Do you know? He's not respecting the officials, even though the officials are shite in this league, and we all know that.
One thing for sure, Joey Barton will have them players up for it on New Year's Day because he hates us, doesn't he? He absolutely hates us.
Aye, definitely.
Predictions?
Prediction, you know what, right? I'm going to go for Sunderland win. I think with that Doncaster game, that could kick us on. So I'm going to say... I'm going to say 1-0 because I don't know, I think there's a clean sheet in with somewhere, so I'm going to say 1-0. 1-0 Sunderland, yeah.
I'm going to go for... I don't know, jinx us.
Well, what do you think of Joey Barton and Fleetwood in that way?
Well, I don't even have to say much about Joey Barton. I think you two have sort of said it all, really. So I'll just leave it there. But I think Fleetwood's a nice club. I haven't been. I was wanting to go New Year's Day. I hope I can still go, but it's not looking good.
There's any spare tickets basically, Sean?
No, there's been returns tickets. Just Dino's not gone, so just not.
Don't be blaming me.
Anyway, I think it'll be. I don't know. What did you say?
I said 1-0.
I'll go for 2-1 to Sunderland.
Just quickly go back to the McGeady Ross thing last season. I don't blame those two people, altogether, but I think it was a whole team collective. I think everybody's heads went down towards the back end of the season. Now, Joey Barton last season made me about £15 for tweeting my video because he said he loves making Sunderland fans cry. So I pretended I was crying just so I would wind up Joey Barton so he'd make me some cash. And he did. Thanks, Joey Barton. Joey Barton, you're fantastic for making me some money. Please tweet my video after we beat you on Wednesday 3-1 away. If we play exactly the same as we played yesterday, we will beat Fleetwood Town. But don't forget to watch a young Fleetwood vlogger called Cod's Vlogs. Absolutely fantastic YouTuber. Does a brilliant job with Fleetwood Town. Watch his vlogs after the match on Wednesday. You'll have a fantastic vlog. Michael?
Have we also got wee Phillies predictions for Lincoln? Sorry, not for Lincoln, for Fleetwood.
Thank you very much. Fleetwood 0, Sunderland 2. Boom.
So basically, I'm the pessimistic one here.
Yeah. I think we will let a goal in because we normally do, even with the makeshift sort of central defence. We're going to move on now to Lincoln at the weekend. What's your Lincoln predictions? They beat Ipswich yesterday. Was it 5-3?
5-3, yeah.
What a match. Where's Lincoln found that from? Ipswich have suddenly felt the bits. Lincoln yesterday, Wickham got beat. Was it 5-1 at home or 4-1 at home?
4-1, yeah.
Wow.
Was that Coventry?
Adiak and Fenwell got sent off, I think. Jesus. So there's some strange results yesterday.
I sure saw somewhere on Quest that Wickham have lost 3 games in a row now. So I think the top of the league, pretty much everybody top of the league is falling apart at the minute. And this is what I mean. If we get a bit of a backbone, we could easily find ourselves in the mix if we want it enough. For Lincoln, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they beat us earlier in the season. You two went down there, didn't you? So, they're not going to be any mugs. They're not going to be any mugs, but at the end of the day, we are at home and we should be expecting to win. So
that was Jack Ross's last game in
That was his last.
Are we trying to have a bit of symmetry here? If we lose the next 2, then Lincoln might be Phil Parkinson's last game. No, for me, if we don't win, it'll be a disappointment. So I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. So I think we'll beat Lincoln, but I think they'll give us a game. Definitely, but if we don't win, I'd be disappointed.
Sean?
Positive vibes. I'm going to go for 3-0 to Sunderland against Lincoln.
Whoa.
I've just all the positivity around this table and around the camera.
Did you just say 3-0 Lincoln?
3-0 Sunderland.
Oh, Sunderland. Right.
I'm getting excited here. What do you reckon, Dino?
Right. For me, if we show the lack of quality. If we show a lot of lack of quality and we don't turn up that game, we'll get hammered off Lincoln if we don't turn up. But if we turn up, we can win that game. But I would say we'd win it 2-1. But if we've got to turn up, we can't just turn up against Doncaster. We've got to turn up against every team. And if we don't turn up, we'll get smashed.
If we approach that game, if we approach any game the way we did against Doncaster, we'll win 9 times out of 10. Honestly, we will.
Do you think if we beat Fleetwood and we beat Lincoln 3-1 as well, do you think the fans... do you think...
It's funny how that hashtag's all of a sudden returned now.
Do you think Phil Parkinson... It'll change the fans' view on them if they win the next 2 games.
Max, you wonder though. I mean, if we're going back to the McGeady thing, we don't know if it's true, but it's funny how the last 3 games were unbeaten, and we looked so positive in the game yesterday. You know what I mean?
Can I just say though, we played Bolton. Blackpool, fine. Blackpool are a good team, but you think we played Bolton, who are bottom of the league, and played Doncaster, who's round about the same as us. So we haven't played a top team yet, in a way. So
see, I don't think Bolton are that bad a side, to be fair. I think they've got team spirit. They fight for every single ball like we did yesterday, and I think they're in a false position, to be honest. I think if they did lose those 12 points, they would stay up for me.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got to look at it this way though. If they didn't have the points deduction, they'd still be in the bottom 3. So if you want to go up, you've got to beat the bottom 3 convincingly. So, but if you look, say, I seen one of the stats. It said in one of the stats that from Parkinson, on form from when Parkinson started, we would be in the bottom 3.
I'm sure you pointed out last time.
No, they won't be in the relegation.
I do think Phil Parkinson made a mistake against Bolton for dropping Maguire. I think he's realised, and he put him in yesterday, and it changed the game completely. Maguire, Gooch and Hume, absolutely fantastic yesterday. So that concludes today's Monday bunch. I already said we win 3-1. Oh yes, Sweetie wants to score prediction.
Sunderland 3, Lincoln 1. And bearing that in mind, where does everybody think we're going to finish in the league now? And Michael's going to tell you how many points we are off second place.
Because I was sad enough, I've got the table right. At the moment, Sunderland are 13th in the league on 31 points. Doncaster. Oxford United are second on 39 points. And miraculous, I couldn't believe this when I looked at the table. Peterborough are sixth with 36 points and with 2 games in hand with them. Now, granted, I try not to rely on games in hand because last year we did and that went pear-shaped. Yeah.
Second place then?
8.
There you go, thanks.
8 points of second place.
Yeah.
The games
But-
in hand.
Well, we've got 1 game in hand on Oxford, but bearing in mind it's got the Bolton and Bury thing, so there's going to be mess-ups everywhere. For where we're going to finish, well, like I said, everyone's messing up at the minute, so it depends how badly Sunderland want it. Very quickly on the Parkinson thing, for Parkinson to turn everybody around, we're going to have to be in the top 2 hunt, really, and we're going to have to start showing what we did against Donny, but consistently. A lot is going to have to change to get Parky back on side with a lot of fans. But
So would you be happy if we finished in the playoffs this season?
as long as we won them, yes.
100%.
But otherwise, there's no point. Only if we won them. That's it.
It's not that tight handed for the playoffs because, I mean, you got to think that the run of games, I mean, was it two, I suppose it's 3 wins now, and is it 15 games or something? But it's not it's not playoff material form, but I would take your hand off for the
So where are we
playoffs.
going to finish?
Oh, God. Just outside the playoffs.
This isn't going to be our season. I'm sorry to say, the squad's not good. No, if we invest in January and we get the players we need in,
Stop sitting on the fence.
there's a chance. I'm not. If we get the right investment and we get the right players in, there's a chance. But if we don't get the right players in, we've got absolutely no chance.
So do you think we can get in the playoffs, Dean? Yes or no?
No.
Michael?
I think the players are capable of pushing for the playoffs, but we do need to get players in January. At the minute, round about 8th, between 8th and 10th. I couldn't nail exact position. If I had to guess, probably 9th.
Phil, where do you think we're going to finish?
He said up by Easter, so we're hoping for this.
Definite playoffs, without a doubt.
Are we going to win them?
But I don't think top 2 is unachievable. There you go.
Let's see.
Give me some more figures.
We're going to need a great second half of the season. We will need a great second half of the season. Hopefully we'll do it.
I'm going to believe we can get in the playoffs, otherwise what's the point? You have to believe that you can win matches and win games, and matches and games are the same thing, so I have to believe you win matches and games and win the playoffs.
Remember, we're 10 points above the bottom 3, so it's happy days.
We're not going down, simple as. So, thanks for watching the Monday Bunch here at the Hastings Hill Pub. I want to say thank you to George for letting us use his conservatory with an absolutely wonderful Christmas tree. It's amazing. And I want to say a big thank you to Dino.
Thank you.
Sean.
Thanks to our loyal subscribers. And obviously have a great new
by
year.
the way, Happy New Year.
Michael.
I already said that at the start, but I'll say it again. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible remotely. So thanks for the support, everything you've shown us. I hope you've had a great Christmas and hopefully more to come in 2020.
Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Thanks. Give this video a like, share it if you possibly could over different platforms, leave comments down below. Do you think Parkinson in and out? Do you think he's going to shake it all about? Will you do the okey cokey on the touchline? We never know, do we? And have a happy new year, stay safe, and hopefully we'll beat Joey Barton's side on New Year's Day. See you later.